Well, hey, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome. Welcome.
welcome. We are so sorry that we're late today. We had Facebook gave us a little bit of extra technical difficulties today, but we are with you. Uh,
This is our happy half hour, Carolina Retirement Planners happy half hour with my daughter Sam and myself, David Shikavich and Sam Shikavich.
mhm.
Now,
And
if you sure
Natalie,
there's Amy. There's Amy, just in case you're
yeah,
she is the lady behind the scenes that makes this work. Now, you're sure you don't look like you're in your normal habitat, Sam. Where are you right now?
I'm not, and that explains why Amy's here as well. Is so you know that every week we do the wine drawing, and we send to you who the winner 2 bottles of wine. Well, we send it from Fermental Bottle Shop that's out here in Ogden, and with this beautiful day, and they've got a really great patio space, we decided to come and go live from Fermental, and Amy's here too because she's nearby. So we're so excited to be doing this, and
Live from a bottle shop, huh? Now, see, in my day, we called them beer halls, but now they're bottle shops, right? And you're sure that you being there, how long have you been at this bottle shop? How many bottles have you been there,
well, the better question is, how many bottles will I imbibe upon after the happy half hour?
Yes. I'm sitting here drinking herbal tea as usual. I know it doesn't, honestly, is herbal tea, and you're sitting here at bottle shop. I'll tell you, what a life, what a life.
Yeah, I'm drinking a beautiful beer. It's by a brewery called J. Wakefield. It's a papaya mango strawberry sour. One
Mango
of those.
strawberry shout. I mean, in my day we had like lager and maybe ales, and now you're having a
Oh,
mango.
we've got all kinds of things now. But we were excited to get out and patronize a wonderful bottle shop in our area. They even have, it's really cool, they have a walk-up window. It's like you don't even have to go inside. You walk right up to the little window, kind of knock, and they'll hand you your beer right out of it. So we're really happy to do that. Well, hey, everybody that's joining us. For most of you are pros at this by now, but if not, Amy is filtering your comments to us. So we can't tell that you're here unless you say hi. So we would love to hear from you and say hi. Tell us what you're drinking, how you're enjoying your afternoon.
And remember, if you're on your Facebook account, there's a place down below where you can click share, and then you can click watch party. And what it does, it'll tell your friends you're watching, and they can come and join you. And it's a great way to help them share tell them to grab their drink, come and get an important lesson today. Today's a good lesson.
Absolutely. And Cindy's here. Cindy, we loved the picture of your son's dogs. They were so cute.
Yeah.
That was great. Brad and Charlene, hey y'all. Yes, Bruce and Miranda and Rick and Martha and Jay and Carter and Nadine.
Now Barb
and Dan.
Dan are here they're living in the mountains now, but they're joining us every week on their mountainous internet connection.
Really?
Yeah, it's
are you last week I was out and I was up in the mountains and the leaves had just started to change. You could see like a tinge of like orange creeping in, barely. So I bet now they're beautiful.
We stopped by Barb and Dan's a couple of years ago, and we were up at John C. Campbell. They're close to that folk center there. I think I was taking pottery, and Sandy was taking weaving, and had a wonderful trout dinner on their porch overlooking the woods on a hillside. It was just marvelous, just marvelous. So, and our weather here is starting to feel like the mountains normally. Humidity's broken. The weather, it's been nice. It's like, that's probably why you're out and sitting outside at the bottle shop, when it's now weather, you can do that. So.
Well, absolutely. And I think that this may be one of our last few 80-degree days, but it's North Carolina, so who knows?
Yeah.
But if if Tim is with us, it's Tim's birthday today, and I think that he should be watching. So hey Tim, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tim. Happy birthday. Yeah.
Ooh. And Rick's here, and Mike is drinking famous grouse. I'm not familiar with famous grouse. I don't know if I think that's a beer or if that's a liquor. It sounds like a scotch or something.
Now you'll have to tell us whether it's Mike, what exactly it is. So, and you know, today is another special day, isn't it?
Oh, it is, Dad. As every week, Amy is so kind to look up like what day it is, what special day is falling on our happy half hour. And today is a day that is very near and dear to all three of our hearts. It's National Pierogi Day.
National Pierogi Day. Hopefully everybody on the call, on the meeting here knows what pierogies are, but they are largely a Polish,
it's like a Polish dumpling, right?
Polish dumpling. You take a piece of dough, flatten it into a circle, put in a filling, usually potatoes, but all kinds of things, fold it over and cook it. And boy, I remember in my youth going to the this is kind of odd, but going to the church I was baptized in, which was the Holy Ghost Polish National Catholic Church in Shenandoah, PA. And like in the summer, they would cook pierogies, and people would come by and just pick up pierogies by the dozen. They'd also have those great bellini, those potato pancake fries, where they have these grills going, and guys would be taking bags and bags of bellinis back to the local bars, back in sort of the tail end of the heyday of the old coal mining towns in Pennsylvania. So yeah, those were the days. Pierogies come from a long line of pierogi eaters.
That's awesome.
Like pierogies, put it in there. If you're a
pierogi lover,
we want to know.
And Mike has confirmed that my second guess was right, that famous grouse is in fact Scotch.
Okay.
I thought. Also want to welcome Tony, Diane, Jacqueline and Tome, Becky, Patrick,
Cindy.
Cindy wants to say happy birthday to Tim too. Awesome. Well, Dad, do you want to go ahead and get started?
I probably should.
I know. What are we talking about Roths right now? We're talking about how fall is the Roth harvest season, and so we've decided
this is Roth harvest season. Because by this time of year, you got an idea like what your taxes are going to look like and how much you should convert each year. So usually in the October, November timeframe, try to get it in before or by no later than early December, because it gets a rush. But we're going to start by talking about how you do a conversion, because there's a couple ways. And then I think next week we're going to teach you or give you some indications as how much you should convert this year. So let me go switch to the board and
all right, I'll make myself small.
Okay, yes, here I am at the magic whiteboard.
There you are.
Yeah, okay. And I'm gonna I want to talk about what it takes to convert a regular IRA to a Roth IRA. Because when you're working and you have W-2 income, you can put new money into a Roth. You can say, I'm going to take some of my wages and put it into a Roth. But you have to have W-2 wages to put new money into a Roth. Once you stop working, you can't do that, but you can take an existing IRA or 401k or 403b if you go through the right motions, all those things, and convert that to a Roth.
Hey, Dad, can I hop in for a second?
Sure.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said that if you're not working, you can't contribute to a Roth, right?
Correct.
Would you expand on that?
In other words, when If you are working, you can take your wages and put it into a Roth. When you stop working, you can't take money from, say, a CD that's not an IRA and put it into a Roth. You can't put new money into a Roth, but you can take existing IRA 401k type money and convert it to a Roth.
Excellent.
And the rules, just to store away, the rules are interesting. You can do this at any time. You can do it at any age. If you're 40, you can convert your IRA to a Roth, and you can do it without any penalty on the early withdrawal. Conversions don't have the 10% penalty, but you're still going to owe the tax. So here it is. I have $30,000 in an IRA, and I want to convert it to a Roth. And just to keep the math simple, we're going to say the tax rate is 20%. Okay. So normally what I would do is I might say, okay, I'm going to take this 30,000 and I'm going to move it to a Roth. Now, 20% tax on this is what, 2 times 3. That means I'm going to pay $6,000 in tax on the way to get it in there. I'm going to owe $6,000 in tax. Now, the first way to do it is to say, look, I'll take that $6,000 out of here, and that'll give me $24,000 over here in the Roth.
Okay.
But there's another way to do it. See, I have this, let's say on the side, I have $20,000 in something like a money market, just plain money, no IRA, taxes have already been paid. I can instead pay the $6,000 with that money. It doesn't have to come from the IRA. If I pay the $6,000 with this money, how much now can I move over to the Roth? I can move all $30,000 over to the Roth.
Ooh.
Now, let me ask you a question. Logically, what do you think is better? Having a Roth with $24,000 growing tax-free forevermore, or having a Roth with $30,000 growing tax-free forevermore? It's pretty obvious. The more you can
Definitely 30.
More you can get in this tax-free world. What you almost did is you figured out a way to take money from your non-IRA and get it up here into a Roth by paying the taxes with it. Mm-hmm. So these are the 2 ways that you can convert from an IRA to a Roth. You can pay the taxes with the money in the IRA. Ideally, you want to pay the taxes with other monies. Again, things differ. It depends on your situation, but it's kind of an interesting lesson. Now, Sam, why is it someone would want to do a Roth conversion in the first place?
Well, as we like to say, you should always strive to pay taxes at the lowest rate.
Right. If you think that now you're going to be in a lower tax rate than you will be in the future, it's better to pay the taxes now and get this Roth growing tax-free, because the Roth's going to grow tax-free and you won't have to pay tax on it. When you die, your spouse won't have to pay tax on it. And when both of you are gone, your kids and grandkids won't have to pay tax on it. So you want to get into that tax-free world.
And I'd like to mention that for people who are under 59 and a half, I don't know how many of them we have, but if you are under 59 and a half, then if you want to do a Roth conversion, you really need to have non-IRA money to pay the taxes with, because any taxes paid out of that IRA, you will be subjected to a 10% penalty.
Yeah, if you're under 59 and a half and you take the 6,000 from here, you're going to owe $600 in penalties on it. So yes. It's better. And you also want to do it ideally before you're 72 and required minimum distributions cut in, because they may drive you into a higher tax bracket as well.
Exactly.
There are I can think of three clear reasons why taxes may go up in the future, why now taxes are lower. Give me one of them, Sam. Why are taxes lower now? Why do
Well, taxes will go up in the future. One, because by law, they are mandated to go up.
That's right. Remember in 2018, we cut taxes. We said the 15% rate went down to 12, the 22% rate or the 25% rate went down to 22, the 28% rate went down to 24. And in January 1st, 2026, if Congress does nothing, see, we cut the rates, but we didn't cut the spending. So these rates have to sunset. And if Congress does nothing in 6 years, these are going to go back up to the higher rates. That's one reason.
And if we know Congress is good at anything, it's doing nothing.
That's right. That's one thing they're good at. If they can raise taxes by doing nothing, they're going to be in for it. There's a second reason why taxes are probably going to go up. And we're living in it. We're doing this by Zoom now for that very reason. We're in the middle of this pandemic. We have reached in and put a whole lot of charges on the country's charge card. Our debt is now about equal to our gross domestic product. It hasn't been this bad since World War II. And sooner or later, we got to pay off these charges. If you remember after World War II in the 50s, tax rates went up way high. The highest marginal rate was like 94% for a while. Could that happen again? Don't know, but that's another reason. There's one other reason. Sam, you know what the third reason is?
Man, you're going to have me say this one. This is the bummer.
Yeah, I'll let you say this one.
Okay, well, if you are currently married, chances are one of you, unless you go out in a fiery crash of splendor, chances are that one of you is going to pass before the other one. And then the survivor is going to be filing singly.
That's right. If you're happily married like me, one of you is probably going to die. Usually it's how men crap out and ladies go on for a long time. And when one person dies, the other is filing single, and they're going to move up tax into higher tax brackets. Those of you who are out there today who are single can probably testify to how high the taxes are for single people, because basically they're, the limits double when you get married. So that's the third reason why you would want to do this Roth conversion now versus later. So a little quick lesson on the ways to do a Roth conversion. And next week, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how much you should convert. What's the rules or what's the guidelines for how much you should convert this year?
So we have a few questions, Dad, and I'm going to go ahead and hit them up while you're moving your screen. Here's an easy one. Sarah wants to know, is the conversion tax rate 20% for everyone? And the answer is no. It's going to be in your personal tax rate. The 20% was just demonstrative.
Just something easy to calculate. Some people will be 10, some 12, some 22, some 24. It just depends. Mm-hmm. And there's other complications we'll talk about next week too.
Tom wants to know if you can have more than one Roth. And the answer is yes. You can have as many Roth accounts as you want. However, the IRS treats all of your Roth accounts as one Roth account. For better or for worse. So you can have as many as you want. You should not, you shouldn't limit yourself. Now we have a question that we've got so many questions. This is a popular topic, but we've got a question that's come. Oh, wait, before I go into that one, Bruce wants to know, can I use my RMD and convert that withdrawal to my Roth?
Good question. No, RMDs cannot be converted to a Roth. So you got to keep your RMD. You can take above your RMD and convert it to a Roth, but RMDs you got to take out and put it back into the taxable world. Another reason to do this before RMDs start at age 72. So you can't do a Roth conversion on an RMD.
And so we've got a lot of questions from Mike, from Pat, and also from Jay, that are basically asking about, once you do a conversion, how long do you have to wait before you can begin withdrawing?
Okay.
When can you access the funds? We hear about this 5-year rule. What does that mean to me?
There is a bunch of different 5-year rules depending on where you are.
It's very complicated.
But let's simplify it for most of the people on this call. If you are over 59 and a half and you do a Roth conversion, you can take the amount you put in, you convert it out and spend it anytime. So there's no reason you can't take out the original deposit. Growth on that amount, you've got to wait 5 years before you can take it out and spend it. Now usually when you're doing a Roth, the Roth money, I like to tell people, you want to leave that to later. When one of you dies and someone's in a higher tax bracket, and tax rates are higher and all, that's a good place to get your spending to keep your rates low. It's great money to leave to the kids and grandkids, because actually under the new rules, they can leave it in the Roth for 10 more years and get 10 more years of tax-free growth on it. So it's probably not money you're going to spend in the near term anyway, but you always can spend the amount you convert. It's just the growth you got to be careful of.
Absolutely.
And like everything we talked about, general rules, you want to talk to your financial advisor, your tax person, before you do something, because there's some more that we'll talk about next week that we haven't talked about here. IRMA considerations, increasing the cost of your Medicare can get into it. So we'll talk more about that next week.
And when we talk about the 5-year rule, my dad and I were discussing this before the call. We would just boggle your minds. It boggles our minds to try to grasp all the different rules of conversions versus contributions before 59 and a half, after 59 and a half. The best thing to do is take a look at your specific situation and then figure out how it might apply to you.
How it can apply, but in general, most of you on the call are probably over 59 and a half. If you do a conversion, you can go in and get what you converted back out at any time. And that's going to be sufficient, I think, for most people. So.
I think so too.
Okay.
And we do have some more people who joined in. We have a lot of people who commented to express their love of pierogies. Bruce is actually from Pittsburgh, and we lived in Pittsburgh for a number of years, and that's where all of my pierogi memories really generate from.
Oh, and you can get really good kielbasa in Pittsburgh, where they basically have garlic with just enough meat to hold it together, And I loved, we moved back from here to Pittsburgh for a few years, and it was great because Shikavich was no longer an unusual name. Not only could you get good kielbasa, but you were kind of just one of the crowd,
Well, I also want to welcome Crystal, Kay, Barbara, Tom, Sarah, Sherry, James, and Dan. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Great to have you here.
And as we do every week, I should have led with this at the beginning of our happy half hour today. We do a wine drawing every week. Oh, I guess we did lead with it because we're talking about fermental. We are at the bottle shop that has sent 26 bottles of wine out thus far. Is that right?
What does it take for someone to get into the wine drawing?
man, we just really want y'all to enter in for some wine. So we're giving you all kinds of ways. You know, some of our favorite ways are you send us an email letting us know that you want to submit a question or a future topic for the happy half hour for the wine drawing.
We want to know what you're interested in, how we can help you with these happy half hours.
We also realize that many of you have been sending us diligently questions every single week. And maybe you've run out. So if you want to just send us an email, say, enter me in the wine drawing, that is sufficient too. Or if you share the happy half hour with a friend or refer any friends to it, you just shoot us an email, let us know, and we will put you on our list.
We love it when you use this to tell, you know, help more people find us and you know, see people we might be able to help. And by the way, if you're on this happy half hour and you're new and you haven't, you know, met us, the email you got, or you can go to Carolina Retirement Planners website or Facebook or Carolina Retirement Planners website, and just click and say, hey, I want to have a 15-minute conversation with Sam or David, and we can get on the phone and just talk about your situation, your taxes, whatever you'd like to, and get to know you. It's a really good time to have a second opinion, especially if you're retired, especially if you transitioned into retirement. It is a different world when you're in retirement than it was while you were working. And that's our specialty. We work almost exclusively with people that are in or close to retirement. So, you know, it's time for that, time to get a specialist if you're in retirement. So, okay.
Okay. So now for my favorite part. Thank you for everybody who sent us questions or comments or referred friends to Happy Half Hour. So I got my Trader Joe's bag of names today. And our winner is Mark P. So congratulations, Mark.
Congratulations, Mark.
You have won the wine this week. Thank you to everybody who sent in questions, comments, whatever to enter. Please enter again. We want to just keep giving you wine.
Yeah, this has been fun. Ours must be 15 or 16 of these. And it seems like we have a never-ending stream of topics and people love it. So we're going to keep going. Come back next week for more good stuff on Roth. Tell your friends to join us, and you know, have a great weekend and a great week. Cheers, everybody.